Welcome to Adams Athenaeum. Let's take a look together through the news and records of our times as we try to shed light upon the unvarnished truth. Thanks for coming back today, where I'm going to talk about just a simple reminder to get out and vote. Today is November 6th. We got 2 more days until the midterm elections. And as I've said in recent videos, in my opinion, this is the vote between freedom, a republic, and a democratic socialist regime. Do we want to continue what has happened for the past 2 years? Do we want to revisit the riots of 2020 where BLM and Antifa desecrated and burned American cities all across the country? Or do we want to keep going with the gas prices and see just how high we can get them? Do we want to continue with the baby formula crisis? Are you tired of not having food for your baby yet? Or how about the food shortages or the incoming food shortages? Or do you want to stick with the gas and diesel fuel crisis? Should we stick with the job and labor shortages or anything else? I mean, just thinking back to Biden's speech the other day that he gave when he was trying to talk about Paul Pelosi and then somehow turned it into the midterm election, some kind of talk about that. I don't know how he got from step A to step B there, but somehow he did. The only leg he had to stand on was to tell you that America, Republicans cannot win unless they rig an election or they steal it. And we must all learn to accept election results, says the man supported by many people who, along with him, had previously refuted election results, who had previously called elections unfair or rigged or stolen. Are you going to stand with the man who calls black people the N-word with a hard ER at the end? Are you going to stand with the man who sniffs little girls' hair and rubs their shoulders as he whispers in their ear? Are you going to continue voting for people like former ex-Vice President Biden? Are you going to continue voting for Democrats like him, who vote for policies like him, who support the far left agenda like Biden? That is what this election is about. It's not just about D's versus R's or trying to throw some independents in there. It's a question of, are you fed up with everything that has come through the news cycle, through your doorstep, through your bills, through your gas tank? Are you fed up with that yet? Are you sick of America falling apart and being lied to about what's happening, being lied to about who's at fault? Are you tired of people like Joe Biden telling you the only way that Republicans can win an election is by stealing it because they're fascists? If they don't win an election, they'll hold another January 6th. Really? Oh, and they also tried to talk about how Republicans are enacting voter suppression all across the country, and right-wing extremism is at its height. We got to be vigilant because right-wing extremism could strike at any time, anywhere. With no facts, no basis, no stories to back up what he's saying. He's just saying, forget everything we've done. I'm just going to throw some things out there to try and scare you. That way, hopefully, you'll continue to vote Democrat. What has he done? Nothing. What have the Democrats done? Not a thing. Well, let me rephrase. Nothing that's good for this country. They've done plenty that's helped to destroy this country. Your children, how your children view sex and gender ideologies. That's what's at stake here. Do you complain about the state of the country, of the economy, of the gas prices? Do you complain about what your child's being taught in school? Do you complain about your wages? Do you complain about not having enough staff at your work? Then get out and vote. If you don't vote, I have no sympathies for you. I don't want to hear your excuses, and I don't want to hear you bitching about it after this election cycle. If these things matter to you, then make the time to go and vote. That's what I'm doing today. I would like everyone to watch this video. Watching this live stream right now, hopefully there's some of you. Come out with me at the end of this video and we're going to go and vote. Go just do a quick Google, DuckDuckGo search, whatever you use. I use DuckDuckGo, and just check out like polling stations near me. And at the end of this video, depending on what time zone you're in, let's go out and vote, right? Tomorrow's Monday. As far as I know, there's no holidays. So are you gonna, after work, after you're tired, are you gonna go out and vote? Same with Tuesday, after you're tired, after work. Are you gonna go out and vote? No, let's go do it today. You and me together. Let's go make our voices heard. Let's go tell the system, screw you. Hear me. I do not approve. And here is what I say. Here is how I vote. Because we're not going to see Republicans rioting in the streets. We're not going to see another January 6th if Republicans lose. I can guarantee it. I don't have any special insight that you all don't have. I just know that Republicans, generally speaking, upon their morality, will not do that again. Republicans realized how much that hurt just the movement in general. We see how long it's stuck with us, and we see how the Democrats pretty much only have that to run on. Oh my God, January 6th was an insurrection. Yet they fail to tell you the actual facts of that day. They failed to represent a true and fair trial, exposing the FBI agents that helped to agitate this crowd and motivated this crowd to commit illegal activities. No one wants to talk about those undercover FBI agents who are still undercover, not being prosecuted. No one wants to talk about how perhaps January 6th was nothing more than an instigation by the FBI. Who's to say? Are we going to allow former Vice President Biden and his son to continue their illicit dealings across the globe, trading with potential enemies, begging potential enemies for oil when we ourselves could make oil and lower gas prices ourselves? No. Biden would rather go beg Saudi princes for oil and then get screwed over, and now we have to pay more for oil from them. So since that's not working out, the Biden regime would just like to tell you to go buy an electric vehicle, because that's the solution. Don't fall for it. Do not let this happen for 2 more years. We have the power. We have the power to say, no, this is enough. This is the line right here. You will not cross any further. That's what we get the privilege to say today, tomorrow, Tuesday. Depending on your state, maybe a couple days longer if you got mail-in ballots, right? Anyway, make your voice heard. Say, we are not okay with this. We do not accept this. You people on the left are wrong, and we don't agree with the country moving in this direction. That is what these next few days are about. Do not make excuses. Do not fall into laziness. Don't say, I don't have time or I can't make time. Again, if you're watching this, if you're taking a poo while watching this, you have time. Come with me to the voting stations. Once this episode is done, we are going to go make our voices heard, as we should. I don't care if you're voting left, middle, or Republican. That's up to you. That's your opinions. That's your beliefs. But get out and vote. I don't believe you should vote Democrat, but I'm not here to tell you which way to vote. I'm here to remind you what Democratic policies and the far left radical agenda have brought us. It's brought this country to its freaking knees. Think about it. When Trump was in office, we were a net exporter of oil, of energy. We made so much energy, we had a plethora of it that we could sell. Now, Joe Biden has cut off our ability to, long story short, make our own energy, make our own gas, harvest our own oil. No. Now he says we would rather beg Saudi princes for oil rather than make our own. We would rather run this country to the ground by depleting our natural strategic oil reserves, which are meant for war. But no, we're just going to release millions of barrels of that a day, every single day, millions of barrels, just to try to help lower the gas price by like 10 to 20 cents. And then we're going to say that we did a good job and that we're lowering gas prices. Let me remind you, what were the average gas prices when Trump was in office? Under $3 a gallon, around $2.80, depending on what time frame you're looking at. Now the average under Joe Biden is about $4 a gallon. And they say they're bringing prices down. I don't know what kind of freaking math he's doing to get that, but it's a lie. He's lying to you. They are not bringing prices down. Think about it. If we know that we can make our own oil in such a quantity that we can sell, then why are we buying? It doesn't make sense. If we had so much oil that we didn't need to buy more for our reserves, why are we now? Actually, we're not even trying to refill our reserves. We're just depleting it just to try to help the gas cost by 10, 20, 30 cents for what, a few more months? Diesel's going to run out soon. What are you going to do when you don't have gas to get to work? You need to get to work to pay for the gas, to get to work to pay the bills, but you can't get to work because you can't afford the gas because Joe Biden's not letting us harvest gas. Tell them no more. This is unacceptable. You, former ex-President Biden, and every Democrat in Congress, in the Senate, in the House, you have failed America, your constituents, yourselves, and your own honor. You have fallen prey to an ideology that is un-American, anti-capitalist, and anti-freedom. Just because I'm asking you to vote not Democratic in this election doesn't mean that Republican's always going to be the right way to go. Sometimes we're going to have to vote Libertarian. But we need to change what's happening. And I don't care how you think that needs to happen. Just make your voice heard. But I'll remind you, if you left California, New York, Oregon, Washington, any of these far left desecrated states because you hated the policies, because you hated the rampant jump in crime, because you hated the rise in homelessness and drugs on the streets, feces everywhere, the police not being able to do anything about it. If you're tired of the defund the police movement and all the negative implications it's had, do not vote the same way. When you were voting in the state that you left, if you left one of those hellholes, do not ever vote that way again. Why? It's common sense. If you left because you were unhappy, why would you vote for the same policies that are going to make you unhappy? Why would you vote for the same party who made you unhappy? Why would you continue to vote for the same party that has always failed you? Democrats have run these places for 30, 40, 50 years. And has anything ever gotten better? No. No, they haven't. Not once, ever. Until a freaking Republican got in there and straightened out the budget, straightened out crime, straightened out prosecuting attorneys and sheriffs and made them enforce the law. If you want this country to be fixed, you cannot vote Democrat. Now, if you want to destroy this country, by all means, vote your mind, vote Democrat. But I don't want you here. You don't deserve to be here. If you don't like this country and you hate it, why are you voting? Get the hell out. We don't want you here. You don't deserve to be here. You haven't earned the privilege to call yourself an American if you hate it here. Go to your socialist utopia. Go to your communist utopia. Tell me how you enjoy eating dogs and losing 20 pounds because there's no food in the supermarkets. The government will shoot you if you try to raid a supermarket. And when you die from starvation, just remember, it's illegal for the hospital to note your cause of death as starvation. Yeah. Tell me you've got it bad here. When Americans, even the poorest, are richer than most kings and queens were in the last 500,000 years. Think about that. Our poorest of the poor are richer than most people throughout history ever were. And you say you've got it bad. You say you've got depression. You say you've got anxiety because you can't get off your phone. Vote to change this crap. That's really all I've got to say. You can check out my channel. There's almost 70 videos reminding you of what has happened these last 2 years, funded, promoted, and regulated by the Democrats, their policies, their law changes. And I ask you, if what is on my page bothers you, are you going to continue voting Democrat? Or are you going to stand for freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? That does not mean that you are a racist, a fascist, a semi-fascist, or a maggot. It means that you love this country and you stand for your beliefs. And that is a good thing. And I will stand with you all the way through hell and high water. That's all I've got to say about getting out to vote. I appreciate you coming out to check this video. As always, if you've got friends and family that need to hear this message, which they all do, please feel free to share this video. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. That way, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. That way you don't forget to be notified whenever I go live, because usually it's a surprise as to what time I go live. I upload videos once or twice a week. You can find me here on Rumble, Locals, Twitter, YouTube, Adams Athenaeum on any of those platforms. Sometimes there's an apostrophe after Adams, sometimes there's not. Just depends. Anyway, I thank you for coming back for this video. And come on, let's go vote. Got my glasses, gonna head upstairs. Let's go and vote. Come with me. It'll be all right.